I stood in a packed Los Angeles courtroom holding proof that my husband, my sister, and my own lawyer stole my home, my savings, and almost my sanity. And in that moment, I watched their faces collapse as the truth finally exposed them. My name is Roxana Marshall. For most of my life, I believed loyalty was louder than love. I believed family meant safety. I believed marriage meant protection. I was wrong about all of it. I lived in Los Angeles in a modest but beautiful home I worked years to earn. I ran a small interior staging business, long hours, tight budgets, and constant pressure. But I was proud of what I built. My husband, Mark, handled finances. He said numbers stress me out. I trusted him because that's what wives do when they're exhausted and still trying to believe. My younger sister, Rachel, lived with us after her divorce. She cried on my shoulder, ate at my table, and slept under my roof. I paid the mortgage. I paid the utilities. I paid for peace. At least, I thought I did. Inside, I was tired. Something felt off. The house felt colder. Conversations ended too quickly. Laughter stopped when I entered the room. I told myself I was imagining it. I wasn't. The first crack came quietly. A mortgage notice arrived marked final warning. I laughed at first. Mark handled that. I assumed it was a mistake. It wasn't. When I confronted him, his face went blank, then angry, then dismissive. He said I was overreacting. He said I didn't understand finances. He said, trust me. 2 weeks later, my business account was frozen. Then came the worst moment. I walked into my kitchen early one morning and found my sister wearing my robe, pouring coffee like she owned the place. Mark was behind her, his hand on her back. Too familiar, too close. They froze when they saw me. No apologies, no explanation, just silence. That silence was louder than screaming. Later that night, Mark admitted everything. The affair, the secret loans, the forged signatures. The house refinancing was done without my knowledge. Rachel cried. She said she didn't mean for it to go this far. They said it like it was an accident. I locked myself in the bathroom and collapsed on the floor, shaking, unable to breathe. I stared at my reflection and didn't recognize the woman crying back at me. I almost gave up right there. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the wall, while the house stayed painfully quiet. Every sound felt amplified. The ticking clock, the hum of the refrigerator, my own breathing. This was the same house I once walked through barefoot, dreaming about the future. Now it felt like a stranger's place I was trespassing in. I checked my phone obsessively, hoping for something, an apology, a message, even an explanation. Nothing came. Instead, I saw bank notifications, withdrawals I didn't recognize, transfers I didn't approve of. That's when panic set in. My hands started shaking so badly I dropped my phone. I slid down to the floor, pressing my back against the bed, pulling my knees to my chest like a child. I cried silently because I didn't want them to hear me. I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of knowing how broken I felt. The next morning, humiliation replaced shock. Rachel avoided me completely. Mark acted irritated, like I was the problem. He spoke to me in short sentences, cold and sharp, as if I was an inconvenience in my own home. At breakfast, he casually mentioned selling the house soon, like it was already decided. I remember nodding slowly, pretending to accept it. Inside, something cracked. I went in my car, closed the door, and screamed until my throat burned. I slammed the steering wheel, sobbing so hard my chest hurt. For a moment, I genuinely thought about walking away from everything, my business, my home, my name, just to escape the pain. That was the lowest point. But right there, in that parked car, With tears blurring my vision, I realized something terrifying and empowering at the same time. They thought I was done. They thought I was weak. And that belief was about to cost them everything. But something changed when I stopped crying. I started listening. Mark thought I was broken. Rachel thought I'd leave quietly. They underestimated me, and that was their mistake. I hired a forensic accountant. I switched lawyers quietly. I gathered emails, texts, bank transfers, and property documents. Every lie left a trail. Every secret left a footprint. They laughed while I stayed silent. They spent money that wasn't theirs. They planned my exit like I was already gone. At night, fear tried to win. There were moments I sat alone in my car, gripping the steering wheel, wondering if justice even existed. But I kept going, because I wasn't fighting for revenge. I was fighting for the truth. The courtroom was full. Mark sat confident. Rachel avoided my eyes. Their lawyer smirked. Then my attorney stood up. Document after document. Signature comparisons. Bank records. Voice messages. The room shifted. The judge leaned forward. And then came the moment. I stood up, holding the final piece of evidence. A recorded phone call where Mark bragged about taking everything from me. The courtroom went silent. Rachel started crying. Mark's face turned pale. That image, me standing alone, calm, holding proof while everything they built collapsed. That was the moment justice finally showed up. Mark lost the house. Rachel lost her inheritance. Both faced legal consequences. I walked out with my name restored and my life reclaimed. It wasn't loud. It wasn't celebratory. It was peaceful. I learned that betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from the people who eat at your table. And I learned this. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's strategy.
Before you go, I just want to say thank you for spending your time with this story and being part of this journey. If this video moved you, taught you something, or made you feel less alone, please like the video and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Revenge Uncut. We're working hard to reach our first 1,000 subscribers, and your support truly means everything to us. Every single subscription helps this channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you real, emotional, and powerful stories like this one. Most importantly, leave a comment below. Tell us what you felt, what stood out to you, or what this story meant to you. We genuinely read every single comment, and your words inspire us more than you know. Thank you for being here, thank you for your support, and thank you for being part of the Revenge Uncut family.